Tonight, the featured item is going to be pesto. So the way I will make some chicken sometimes is I'll wrap that chicken in prosciutto, but I'll stuff it with pesto and fontina cheese and balsamic vinegar, and I'm going to show you how to make. I'll post the recipe for this pesto. It's absolutely fabulous. You can almost drink it. It's that good, seriously. So we'll put that in there. We'll slice the chicken up. We'll wrap it in prosciutto, and we'll also put pesto and fontina cheese in there. So I take the chicken breast, and what I do is I just take a really sharp carving knife here, and I'll slit that open and just fillet it open, so you can see what it looks like after I fillet it open. You have two sides here, but you don't want to. You definitely don't want to. Cut it all the way through. So here in which I'll put the pesto and I'll put the fontina cheese in here. So we'll get the fontina cheese and pesto. Before I do that, I take some seasoning. So I got some Italian seasoning that I'll sprinkle in there. I also put balsamic vinegar. You can see I already have the balsamic vinegar in there. So I'll stuff it with pesto and fontina cheese in here. So get a couple good slices in here. Fontina cheese is really creamy, and it's got some good flavor in it, but it's super creamy. So try to stuff. It's gonna melt and obviously ooze out the side a little bit, but you're gonna wanna just go ahead and lather that pretty good with the pesto. It's so good. So again, just get that lathered in there pretty good. And then, once you do that, maybe get a little more in there. Can't get enough of that. So, make sure you fill it up. So, get that good and lathered in there. Then we take the breast, then we go ahead and we'll close it. So you can see, you got a baby is stuffed. So the only way you can fix that is you gotta wrap it. So, here comes the prosciutto. So just take that. We'll drape it over it. And again, you want to be a little delicate just because you don't want anything to fall out. Once this thing gets cooking, the prosciutto will tighten up. It gets a little bit like bacon. It'll start to shrink up and it'll tighten in around these breasts, and I'll show you actually when she's all done. I do put this on the grill, but you really need to be careful and put it on the low heat part of the grill. So again, just wrap. I usually get this prosciutto Italian or imported, I should say, but most of the time it comes from Italy. So again, you can see how it's nicely packaged in there. Cook it really on low heat, and you should be able to turn it over, but you really got to keep that on low heat. And get that prosciutto cut a little thick. You know, if you kind of come in here, see how thick I got that cut. That's a little thicker than you might normally have it if you have it on pizza or something like that. But in this case, you want it a little thicker. And hopefully if you can get some pieces that aren't too fatty, that'll help cook it low. But as I showed in my video, I had a video that shows these grates I got on Amazon that really make this slick, and they're super cheap, and they make a lot of things like this easy to grill. So here's what it looks like, and we'll go ahead and put that on the grill, and when we're done we'll show you what we're going to do there, and I'll make some alfredo with some pesto in there as well. So this will be a pesto chicken alfredo meal. It's very delicious. With this chicken, I'm going to make some alfredo and pesto sauce to go over some rigatoni. And so you start with a couple, 2-3 tablespoons of butter. So you get that butter going. You want to melt that down just a little bit. And then you're going to want to put, I use heavy whipping cream. So, I don't know, I'll put probably close to a cup. It's probably a cup or a cup, little over a cup and a third of. I'll post the ingredients on the YouTube channel. So we want to get that going. We want to get that, put it under low heat just to kind of get the butter melted and uh, you know, whipping cream incorporated. And then we want to bring it up to a slow boil and then turn it down and let it boil, or not boil, but just keep it under really low heat for 8 minutes. Then what I do is really just kind of shut it off, and then I'll put the Parm cheese in there, and then that's when I put the pesto in there as well. So we'll go ahead and get this thing going, and we'll show you how it looks at the end here in a minute. Again, you want to get it to a boil, but then if you can kind of pan out here just a little bit, you might be able to see a little steam. So for the 6 to 8 minutes that you're going to do this, you just want to stir it a little bit, but you want the steam, a little steam to come up, which really starts to thicken it a little bit. And again, the important part, when you put the Parm cheese in there, you really don't want a lot of heat on it. You want to obviously melt the Parm cheese, but it has to be at the end of this process so it doesn't clump up. So anyway, we're getting close here. Okay, so we let the steam kind of roll off here about for 6 to 8 minutes, turn it on low. I'm gonna just shut it off here at this point. You can take a look, we got plenty of Parmesan cheese. Arlana likes to grate a lot of cheese. I'm not gonna use all this, let's be honest. So what I do is simply just kind of dump, I don't know, about a third a cup in. Get that melted really good. Let's do another third just to make that really creamy. Depends on how creamy you like it. You gotta be careful. Can't go too creamy. So I'll probably, well, about a quarter cup there. That's probably good. Now, good and creamy. Yeah, just kind of keep that warm until you're ready to serve. You don't want to overcook it. Because right now that cheese is melted beautifully. You can see, look at how beautiful that is in there. Oh, yep, that's what we were looking for. So there's your Alfredo sauce. Got the rigatoni going in right here. That's about done. Cook that al dente, and the chicken's almost ready, so it's gonna be good. So I got the chicken good and hot, and I think I've mentioned on another video, but if I haven't, I got these on Amazon, and you can see they're these little, I don't even know what they're made of. They're grates that you can put right over your grill, and they're fantastic when you want to make some poppers or do different things with chicken. It doesn't stick to the grill. And so what I will do is I will take the prosciutto wrapped chicken, and sometimes I'll throw in a couple toothpicks in there just to kind of keep that thing together. And I'll just lay them right in there just like that. Under low heat, get that going. Oh, that looks good. So you get that cooked under low heat, low and slow. We'll flip them over once. Really, I think it's about 10 minutes aside or something like that, 7 to 8 minutes aside. Flip them over once and they'll be ready to go. So this has been on one side for probably 6 or 8 minutes. I'm just gonna flip these over. You can see that, like, again, it's like a piece of bacon, beautiful cut of bacon. You just flip it and you can see the cheese, the fontina cheese is coming out. Now again, you're gonna wanna cook this for probably 5 to 6 minutes on this side before you lose too much cheese. It's critical you don't lose too much cheese. I'll put a meat thermometer in there to make sure it gets to 165, but we're gonna be good. This is really coming together nice. Finish off this Alfredo pesto. So you got the rigatoni, I drained the water out. And again, I make sure it's al dente. I'm kind of a little stickler on that. So it's al dente, I err on the side of al dente. And we have the Alfredo. Look how creamy that guy is. So what I'll do at the end here is I'll just pour that in there. Get it good. Creamy. We'll mix that around. You can take a look here. Look how the cream's just, the Alfredo is just getting wrapped in there. So delicious. Then what I'll do is I'll take this pesto that's been sitting here. Put a little of that in there. Come on, a little more pesto. Let's get some pesto in there. So we get some pesto. Get that flavor going in there. I'll add a little bit on the top as we serve it. You probably say that's maybe not enough pesto, so we'll add a little bit. I agree, that's not enough pesto. So get a little more in there. Yeah, that's a little better. And you, like I say, I think depending on how you like it, you could add more than that in there. Just whatever you feel like. I like a little balance in that. So go ahead and now serve this with that chicken and we'll plate it up. All right, the final product. You can see the pesto alfredo. Very good. You'd see if you kind of get a little close here, you can see how the prosciutto just got tight and wrapped it really beautifully. So that fontina cheese, the balsamic in there, the pesto is going to stay in there. So as we cut into this guy, we're going to have all that flavor from all that stuff. And you're going to get a good cut of both of that. And, you know, just kind of with your pesto, let's take a bite. So delicious with a good glass of wine.